How we doing out there, Big Orange Nation? Tennessee, Florida, tonight, 7 o'clock, ESPN. Knoxville has got to be, it's got to be a hot place today. It's got to be hot. The weather's nice. It's fall weather. Florida comes to town. Tennessee comes off of a bad loss last week. You got to think they're going to be ready tonight. But if you've been looking around this week, depending on what sites you've looked at, if you followed me on here this week, any of my videos, I had a video talking about Tennessee's recruiting weekend for football, and I talked about the Lady Vols weekend as well. This weekend, though, Tennessee Athletics has rolled out the red carpet. If you look across the sports, football has right at, from what I've seen, and there could be more, around 70 prospects from 2025 up to 2027 that are going to be in town. The Lady Vols have 3 elite prospects in town. Tennessee basketball has 2 official visitors and 1 unofficial visitor. And then Tennessee baseball is hosting, what was it I saw? It was like close to 10 prospects this weekend. Elite level prospects for 2025, for 2026. You know, I don't know how many of these guys make it to campus. Actually, it looks like they're going to have closer to 15 if you include unofficial visitors, official and unofficial. But I'll talk about that here in a minute. I could have made 4 separate videos on this, but I really want to highlight how this athletic department, how they've come in at one time this weekend, getting this big home game. All the programs are trying to capitalize off this. I love it. I love it. And let's start again. Tennessee football. Talked about it. I'll link the video at the end here if you want to click on it and check that out if you have not already. For 2025, of course, you got David Sanders Jr., you got George McIntyre, the headliners. It is important for Tennessee, though. You have Jaden Harmon, Christian Gass, Shady Hayward, Travis Smith Jr. 3 of the 4, Smith has not visited, but there have been talks about teams still reaching out to him. He's still listening on it, but he seems to be solid with Tennessee. The other 3, Harmon visited Alabama 2 weekends ago. Gass has been to Georgia. I think it was a few weekends ago. He didn't go last weekend because I think his game conflicted with it. Shady Hayward was at Georgia last weekend. And then it looks like most of Tennessee's recruits, not all of them, but most of them are on campus this weekend. There's elite level recruits for 2026 who are on campus. You've got the number 1 defensive end on campus. You've got the number 1 offensive tackle. The number 1 end, let me find it, remember the name. Of course, you've got for 2027, you got Cooper Witten. Everybody knows that one. Zion Ely, the nation's number 1 pass rusher for 2026, is on campus. The top offensive tackle, I know I'm going to Emmanuel Ahianacho. I've not pulled that. I just saw it here recently, actually. They've said he's made plans to be here before and has not made it. So, we'll see if he actually makes it in. But he is scheduled to be here this weekend as well. Just a host of other prospects from North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, all around. Like I said, for 2027, you got Cooper Witten. You got a couple, looks like numerous receivers. You got the number 1 player in the state, Omari Sanders, who's a safety for 2027. Just prospects throughout the board, just loaded for this weekend. And this is going to be big for Tennessee tonight against Florida to have a good showing to show, hey, last weekend was the outlier, okay? We're still for real. Last weekend, we had a bad week. Arkansas figured this out. I saw where Travis Williams, Arkansas's defensive coordinator, says, hey, man, when I go home, I study a lot of film. He said, I looked at so much of it, I knew when they went in their looks. He said, when they went in 12 personnel, we had them. We had them where we wanted. He said, I knew based on what their plays were, what they were going to do. He didn't know the plays, but he studied it based on their formations. So, if you're Tennessee's offensive staff, you got to go back to the drawing board, and you've got to get a hell of a lot more creative than what you've been the past 2 weeks. Nico's eating shots left and right in the pocket, okay? if he's going to eat the shots, you might as well turn him loose, let him run, do his thing. If he's going to get hit, at least make it productive. It's not productive getting hit in the pocket. But this Tennessee football team, if they have a big performance tonight, Neyland Stadium is going to be rocking. That's what recruits are going to notice. And excuse me, I would have noticed, or I would imagine, each sport is going to be taking those recruits to the ball game tonight. The Tennessee fans are going to bring it. The Tennessee football team needs to keep their foot on the gas. They need to put their foot on Florida's throat. They need to stomp on it and not let off of it tonight. Because you know what else is going to happen? That's going to lead to a rowdy, raucous Neyland Stadium, which recruits will absolutely love. You have a big game like that tonight on ESPN with everyone in attendance against a major rival, and you put your foot on your throat and don't let off, yeah, people are going to take notice on that from every sport. And you're going to say, hey, if they're cheering for them like that, what are they going to do for my sport? You look to Lady Vols. Grace Knox, Dania Prawl, Jada Civil. All of them are on campus. Elite level recruits, top 30 recruits who were on campus this weekend. The Lady Vols, I saw last night, they had a picture. You'll see it on my cover photo. Gabe Lazo. It showed they had two Lamborghinis, one in Summit Blue and one in Tennessee Orange. Pretty cool. They're rolling out the red carpet because they're trying to build that program with these recruits. Maybe that's their NIL payment. I don't know. I'm totally kidding on that. But it was said this week, the Lady Vols season tickets, they've sold over 7,000 season tickets. That's the first time in years that they've sold that many. The excitement around this Lady Vols program is the highest it's been since the Summit era. Since the Summit era. Tennessee needs to capitalize on that this weekend. And when you're getting a little more coverage on it, on Lady Vols, you're starting to see a little bit more women's basketball coverage out there. Oh, Frank's on it too, buddy. Frank is on it with Lady Vols, all in with that. It's a big weekend for them. Tennessee basketball. Rick Barnes and staff this weekend. They've been trying to get the number 5 player in the nation, Caleb Wilson, on campus. He is there this weekend, official visit. Also, 4-star point guard Isaiah Dennis out of North Carolina, ranked according to On3 is number 56 in the country. He's about 6'5", so he's a combo guard. And it's a good sign because they've already had 4-star guard Amari Evans on campus for an official. He is back for an unofficial this weekend. I think you got to like where Tennessee stands in that recruitment. And with them only having one recruit in the fold right now, they need more. They're going to have to hit the portal, make no mistake about it. But the lifeblood of all of your programs is through high school recruiting. It's never going to change. It's never going to change. The portal has minimized it to an extent. What's going to end up happening, though, is, especially with these roster limits changing, with football, it's probably going to hurt your mid-major. With baseball, where they're putting roster limits on that, though, and I'm getting ready to get to baseball, you're going to see more parity. There's more parity in baseball anyway, because you see mid-major teams. We've seen mid-majors win the national championship. It doesn't happen often. The SEC's had a pretty firm grip on that for a bit, but I mean, Coastal Carolina won it not too long ago. Mid-majors, they make stuff happen in the tournament. But Tennessee basketball, I think Rick Barnes and the staff the last 2 years have really struggled recruiting high school guys. They've done excellent in the portal. High school-wise, though, they've had a tough time with it. I'm just telling you, they really have. And I want to see, can they still get in these top prospects on campus, especially these top 10 guys? I'm really curious to see if they can still pull that off. And then, the last one I want to hit on, of course, is Tennessee baseball. Tennessee baseball is an absolute machine and a juggernaut right now. Ben McKee, 24/7, had an article on it. And like I said, it's close to 15 guys on campus for 2025. The number 5 overall player, Billy Carlson, Ontario, California. He was committed to Vanderbilt, decommitted. Looks like he's listed as a shortstop pitcher. Number 5 overall, according to Perfect Game. Number 2 player in California. a teammate of Landon Tomei, who's Jim Tomei's son, who committed recently, but a teammate of his, Jaden Fosk, out of Willowbrook, Illinois, 2025 catcher. He is ranked number 16 by Perfect Game. He's on campus. I'm for-time purpose, I'm going to cut it. Boston Kellner, who's a top 100 player for 2025. Bo Holloway, the number 9 overall player from Nolensville, Tennessee. Number 1 overall left-handed pitcher 2026 is on campus. Noah Wilson, the number 1 outfielder in Tennessee for 2026 out of Ottawa. Chandler Hart, a 2026 number 67 player out of Texas. He is a left-handed pitcher. Cade Allen, Humboldt, Tennessee, number 229 according to Perfect Game. Tyler Putnam out of Missouri, the top right-handed pitcher out of Missouri. And then unofficial visitors is Cruz Schoolcraft out of Beaverton, Oregon. Says he's the number 7 player for 2025. Grayson Pope from Alabama. Nathan Eisfelder, 2025 player from Jonesboro, Tennessee, who plays at IMG Academy. Evan Hankins out of Bristol, Virginia. I'm not sure where he's playing now. He did play at John Battle. I'm not sure if he's still at Battle or not, but he's been committed to Tennessee for 4 years, and he's number 104. And then they've got Colton Denton out of Knoxville, a catcher. I don't see a ranking on him. Jackson Wood, 2026, number 50 overall player there. So the amount of, is this the greatest collection of recruits across the sports at one time? And I would imagine the Lady Vols softball probably have some on campus as well. It wouldn't surprise me. And probably other sports as well. But across the major sports, is this the greatest collection of recruits on campus at one time? As far as how it's covered, I think you have to say it is across baseball, basketball, Lady Vols basketball, and football. Could there have been times in the past? Possibly. But as far as what we know, I will go on record to say, with how much more thorough recruiting is being covered now across the major 4 sports, this is the greatest collection of elite recruits on campus at one time. And that shows you Tennessee athletics is hitting on all cylinders. The big thing for this program that they need tonight is for that football program to come out guns a-blazing and bring it. We don't need to see what we've seen the last 2 weeks. We need to see the Josh Heupel, who was creative, balls to the wall, no fear on it. Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Let's rock and roll tonight. Last but most certainly not least, go Vols.